and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on Twitter at Eric Talks Astros. You can find the show at Locked On Astros. Your team every day. Brett, where can you find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on Twitter and at Stros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive, always Stros.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. It's opening day, guys. Opening day. I know we've already had the official opening day, but today is opening day in Houston, Texas. 50% capacity at Minute Park. I'm excited. I'm going to be at Minute Park tonight. I don't know if you are going to be there, but I am pumped, and I know you are pumped as well. So don't forget, you can get Locked On Astros on podcasting app Himalaya, as well as Google Podcasts, Odyssey, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. When you get in the car, tell your smart device to play the podcast, Locked On Astros. Today's episode is brought to you by Locker Room, obviously. Download the app and join us this week, right now, to get live in on the action. Locker Room, it's changing the way we talk sports. So let's go and jump right into the conversation. I know, Johnny, you're right here. So let's go and jump right into you. How excited are you about fans being back at Minute Park?
I'm super excited, brothers. Really, really excited, especially that they're going to be cheering for us and not booing us. Positive energy, not negative energy.
Yeah, that's right. You know, I saw today, we actually had a guy, Paul, who actually works. He's actually on the call right now. He is part of one of our sponsors, Belching Beaver, and he told me he didn't mind if I use his name, but him and his family went to one of the Angels and Astros games, and he said it was absolutely so discouraging. And he's like, I get it, they're upset or whatever, but he said there were literally fans there that weren't even fans of the Angels that were there just to simply boo the Astros, and he said it made for a miserable family experience. I really hope, and I hope that visiting fans realize that if they come to the stadium trying to do that, which apparently they're flying from LA to come out to the LA series, that they will be met with strict resistance, because we're not going to put up with that. I mean, we've moved on. They need to move on. But I'm excited about the atmosphere. I'll be going Friday night. Eric is going tonight with the home opener, and I'm just excited to be a part of it. We brought Paul in. Paul, how's it going, man?
Hey, how you doing, man? How's everything going?
So tell us about your experience at the Angels-Astros game in Anaheim.
It was interesting. In California, you got to order. What was interesting is you had to order every concession stand drinks on an app. So there's a lot of complaints. We ordered around the first inning. We didn't get our drinks till about the seventh when we're about to leave, and they're like, "Oh, hey, we got your drinks." I'm like, "Forget it, dude. I'm out of here." Forget it, dude. You guys could keep it. And they're like, "Okay." But we're sitting next to a group of people who actually we're not a fans of anybody. We're just just wanted to go there to boo and heckle the Astros for what they did to the Dodgers. And I just looked at them. I'm like, "So you guys are not fans of anybody?" And they're like, "No, we're just here to boo them." And I'm like, "Okay, you just wasted your money." And they're like, "No, but it's the right thing to do." I'm like, "All right, whatever." Family in front of us, about 3 rows in front of us, to the left of us, the people behind them kept heckling them the whole time, telling the father, "I can't believe you're going to raise your kids to be fans of cheaters." And I was just like, and I kind of mentioned something. I told him, you need to shut up, but I didn't say it in a nice way. I said it in a very firm way, and he just looked at me and he said, "Okay." They heckled my 11-year-old nephew by himself going to the bathroom. They got in his face saying boo, and he was just like, he knew it was coming. We kind of warned him, but to heckle somebody, an 11-year-old boy by himself, it was kind of like, all right, man, like, you got to knock this off. And then as soon as we started leaving, that's when the trash cans got thrown over. I'm pretty sure you guys saw it on TV.
Yeah.
It got thrown over the rails, and they had to stop the game. And people were yelling out, "Hit him with the ball, boo him," and you had Dodgers fans that came out and just boo them and throw stuff at them. And it just reminded me of the old Oakland Coliseum back in the 80s when, it's just going to be rough. And I kind of forewarned my friend who went last night and yesterday afternoon. I kind of told him, I go, hey, if you're going to be there, you just got to pay no mind and keep to yourself. And he called me later in the afternoon and he was like, bro, you were not kidding. He's like, these people are ruthless. I go, yeah. I go, it's tenfold right now. Then you have Stephen A. Smith on ESPN saying, yeah, you should boo him. Yeah, you should do it. And I'm like, you're going to continue it. You're going to make it unfair for a lot of Astros fans that want to go out to the game. We knew it was coming, but it's not going to be like this. It feels like it's PC culture all in MLB right now. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. So Eric, tell us, with that being said, and we know that negativity is going to shift. What did Carlos Correa say about coming home?
Oh, he just said, I cannot wait. It's going to be surreal to be once again in front of our fans, in front of our home crowd. We miss them. Last year was not the same without them. Going out there to Minute Maid Park once again with the fans cheering after every play, after every single run, after every home run is going to be unbelievable. And we have to understand that these guys, the Astros, played really good last year at home. And so for them to play that good without the home fans at the stands, just imagine how good they're going to play with them kind of there. So one thing that we have to keep in mind is these Dodgers fans are going to Angel Stadium to kind of boo the Astros. They have money. They're probably going to be coming to Houston to buy tickets for opening day just to come to boo the Astros. So I'm not saying that these guys aren't going to come travel, and so we'll see. Maybe they're coming to the Angel Series, like I think you said earlier, but we'll have to see how this is. But I'm excited to see Astros fans in the stands, and we'll have to see how it all works out. But one thing that's kind of making me a little bit sad is the fact that the home plate bar and grill and the bus is not out there anymore. You can't walk across the street and get a beer.
Yeah, it was demolished. Like, it's an empty lot now. That's kind of depressing. Hey, Paul, would you mind muting your mic right now since you're not speaking?
Okay, sorry.
No, it's okay. I just didn't want to get background noise there. But yeah, that, there are going to be some changes. Everything is going to be social distancing, of course. Eric, do you want me to go over some of the different things that they're going to have there at the ballpark, or do we want to?
Yeah, I think it's kind of similar to what Paul was saying. Everything's going to be cashless. You have to get a debit card. So, let's say that Paul goes to the ballpark and he only has cash. I mean, who has cash nowadays? Because nobody takes cash. But let's say Paul goes to the ballpark, he only has cash. They have a reverse ATM where you put cash in there and they give you a debit card. So, but they also, I think they have an app, kind of like Paul was saying, where you have to order through the app. Hopefully it doesn't take the seventh inning, because if I order a beer in the first inning, I don't want to wait till the seventh inning and then it's like, no, last call for beer. Oh, sorry, Mr. Huysman, you can't get your beer. So, but what else can we expect?
We can also expect that you will see hand sanitizing stations everywhere, that they are going to basically do their best to accommodate fans. Like you said, the reverse ATM, there will be all kinds of upgrades to the restrooms. I don't know what that is, where you don't have to touch anything. So I guess that's good. Torchy's Tacos, I hear, is gone. The Astros are planning to have Minute Maid Park roof open for Thursday nights for tonight's home opener, pending weather, and a flyover is planned. It says some of the hostility you're hearing on the road, it will be nice to go home and hear the people that are for us and that are on our side. That's what, Carlos Correa said. They've been spoiled by excellence the last 4 or 5 years, and I'm sure they're expecting even more. In Houston, I know they are looking at, you can only bring in certain types of bags. You can bring in like a 5 to 9 inch bag, 5 inch by 9 inch bag, small bag, like a clutch purse, where they were saying no bags at first. So for the ladies going to the game, that will be a thing. But like you said, everything will be cashless. You will not be able to whip out the cash and buy a hot dog and buy a beer. But I think they're going to do the best they can. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be an excellent experience across the board at Minute Maid Park, like always.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you notice, we are here on the Locker Room app. It is the perfect place to start or join a conversation, just like y'all joined us, our fans, our listeners. You'll find fans just like you on Locker Room watch parties, debates, post-game breakdowns, and of course, reacting to big news and rumors. You will have a chance to chat with me, H-Town Wheelhouse, and Eric, the man Huysman, and might even have a chance to be featured on our Locked On Astros podcast. So be sure to join us this week or each week when we host a live room. So go download the free Locker Room app right now, currently available on iOS devices. If you're on this call, then you've already done so. So if you're listening and it's not live, be sure to create a profile, link your Twitter, and join the NFL, MLB, NHL group for the latest league updates. Follow me at H-Town Wheelhouse on Twitter, and you'll be notified when the room goes live. Or follow Eric at Eric Talks Stros, and you can find out when the room goes live from him as well. I know you won't want to miss out. I'm planning to be live next week on Thursday around 8:30. So come check us out, Locker Room, changing the way we talk about sports. Man, this has been a great conversation so far, but let me tell you all about rockauto.com. If you have a car or truck, any kind of vehicle, and you need auto parts, don't go to a chain front auto store. Why spend 30, 50, 100% more for the exact same auto parts and get upcharged because you're not a professional mechanic? Chain stores have different price tiers, and that's what I'm talking about. Your job is to save money, to keep money in your pocket. RockAuto.com is a family-owned business serving auto parts customers online for 20 years. Go to RockAuto.com to shop for auto and body parts from hundreds of manufacturers. They have everything from engine control modules and brake pads to tail lamps, motor oil, and even new carpet. Whether it's your classic or daily driver, get everything you need at a few easy clicks. That's right. Best of all, the price at Rock Auto are always reliably low, and the same professionals and do-it-yourselfers. Go to rockauto.com right now and see all the parts they have available for your car or truck, right? Locked On in their How Did You Hear About Us box to let them know that we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. rockauto.com.
I agree with you in terms of that. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens. But there's a lot of upgrades, and there's a lot of stuff that fans have not seen, especially in that place where Yordan Alvarez hit that home run. They've done a lot of upgrades there, and so we'll have to see. So, guys, we are recording a live podcast here. So if you are here to heckle the Astros, I'm sorry about that. You're going to have to
I would
go
say
somewhere
this,
else.
go ahead and kick Jacob Jonason, please. Kick him out.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, so you're welcome to talk to us through Twitter, but right now we're not going to be doing that. So, but looking at the opening day, what's going on here, I'm excited to see what Cristian Javier can do. Cristian Javier is going to he has to go deep, much deeper than 3 2/3 innings. Cole Irvin lasted 4 1/3 innings. So, Paul, looking at the matchup, this is not really a rematch from what we saw the last game. And Steve, if you want to come on stage pretty soon and kind of offer your thoughts. But what do you think about this matchup opening day? This is not your typical ace versus ace, but what do you think about this matchup, Paul?
No, it's not typical because they used Zach Greinke in the last outing. I think it'll be okay, but I'm hoping he pulls through longer innings. I know he's kind of been struggling, a little bit here and there. So, especially from last year, he had some good outings, but then he's kind of goes out. So, it should be a good one. Should be interesting. So, I think it'll be all right.
Yeah. Johnny, what do you think? Who do you think has the upper hand in this matchup?
I'm always going to say the Astros. You know what I'm saying? But the only thing that worries me about Javier is that one inning where he throws a lot of pitches and you can tell that he gets tired. His velo is like 95, 94. Then it goes down to like 91, 90. That's the only thing. Don't stay away from that big, stressful, taxing inning, and he's going to do just fine because Javier, just like our other pitchers, they pitch much better at Minute Maid Park than on the road.
I love the way you said his name. That was perfect. But in that last game, a perfect example. He had 3 perfect innings, and then when he had to go pitch out his stretch, that's when he kind of fell apart in the fourth inning. And so that's a perfect illustration of what you just said. So I know that Cole Irvin. I know it's a small sample size, but he has an 8.31 ERA. He allowed 7 hits in the last game versus the Astros, only 2 strikeouts. You have Cristian Javier, 5.91 ERA. He allowed 3 hits and 4 strikeouts in only 3 2/3 innings. So I'm going to have to go with Cristian Javier. I think playing in front of the home crowd for the first time, I'm going to have to lean the Astros. But at the same time, he is a easily excitable guy. This could be maybe a little bit over his head.
So I think the Astros are going to continue their dominance offensively, guys. I think the Oakland A's have just won the one game. I'm actually glad they won the one game, because if they came in winless, the odds of them winning the game are higher, because, Major League Baseball teams losing 8, 9, 10, 11 games in a row is not common. And as bad as they've been playing, the tide has to turn. So I would rather the tide turn right before they get to Houston and then get deflated again, and the Astros go ahead and sweep them out of Texas, or out of Houston at least. Because the bottom line is this, dude. This lineup, top to bottom, has got the makings of a great team. It has got the makings of a team that can dominate you, not just in the early innings, but in the late innings. And I love what Carlos Correa did the other day in his press conference. He just said, I like hitting late in the games. That's when I feel sexy. I mean, that is. And he's going to keep doing that. He is going to draw negative attention, and he's going to feed off of it. And I think this league really isn't prepared for what the Astros are going to bring. If they can sustain at least 75 to 80% of what they've been doing in the first, 5, 6 games, they're going to be on a tear. Now, I know it's a long season, and I'm not saying they're going to win over 100 games because of these first 6 games, but they've shown us they can take on the people that are supposed to be the best in the West and just do what they do. And, it's like someone had made the comment on Twitter. They were like, the only reason why Kyle Tucker didn't hit a home run today is because he didn't play a game. I mean, we have Crush City is back, guys. It is back.
All right, Steve.
For sure. I'm going with the Astros to win the home opener. Not a doubt. I'm a big Javier fan, so I'm in this corner. I think we take this game. I think we just go ahead and sweep them again, as far as I'm concerned. But what I wanted to discuss real quick with y'all and get your take on it. I followed spring training a lot closer this year than I have in the past. And I was going to ask you guys, do you think they properly stretched our pitcher, our known pitchers that they knew were going to make the team? Do you think they did a good job of stretching these guys out in time for the season to start? It seems to me that they gave, they pitched a lot of the young guys, which, you have to do. You want to see them, but it didn't seem like they started stretching our guys that they knew was going to be on the team out quick enough for me, starting to give them extra innings to pitch in spring training. I just wondered how y'all felt about that.
Well, I don't remember exactly everybody's storyline. I know that Zach Greinke reported a little bit late to camp, but I'm not worried about him. He's leading the Astros in innings with 6 and 7, so I'm not worried about him. I know Urquidy kind of got off to a late start himself, but with Cristian Javier and Luis Garcia, and Cristian Javier, they were all quarantined or isolated or in the health safety protocol for 7 days. So they were basically shut down because of the whole what's the guy's name? I forgot the reliever that we got from the Dodgers, but he was
Pedro Baez.
Pedro Baez, yeah, he was tested positive. So because of the whole tracing, they were isolated, they were shut down. So that's the reason why you see some of these guys like Cristian Javier and Luis Garcia and They just weren't able to get stretched out as much as they wanted to. So that's partially why they're having issues. Lance McCullers was able to get stretched out. He didn't pitch probably as many innings as they would like to, but I don't think that has to do with that. I know what you're saying, but I think they played it safe. They rather save some of the innings for the playoffs with McCullers and Urquidy, so to speak. So I know what you're saying, and I don't think it's more they didn't do enough time getting them ready in spring training. I just don't think that they were ready to pitch these games. I think that McCullers specifically, he struggled in the first inning. Urquidy did not look comfortable in the first inning. I think Cristian Javier looked very comfortable in the first 3 innings, but he just fell apart. So everybody just had their little issues in the first go-around. So Zach Greinke set a tone in his second go-around. So let's see what Cristian Javier does tomorrow or today.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I appreciate your input. I just wanted to get somebody else's input on that. So a lot of what you said there, Eric, was pretty spot on.
And since we're talking about the Houston Astros and the Oakland A's in the first homestand in Houston, Texas at Minute Maid Park, let me tell you about Bet Online, the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your sports action. Football may be over and the NBA is in full swing. The NHL is here and MLB is in full swing as well. Bet Online even covers awards, TV shows, and reality TV. Real-time updated odds and props on almost anything you can imagine. BetOnline has you covered for all the news, scores, and odds. It's the best way to place bets, and it's free to sign up. Head to the website right now and use your mobile device to sign up today. You'll receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Bet on how many wins the Astros will get. Will they get to 100 wins? Will Kyle Tucker be in the MVP hunt? Will Cristian Javier or Lance McCullers Jr. be a Cy Young candidate? Will Yordan Alvarez hit the most home runs in the American League? You can go check it out. Go check the over and under on Michael Brantley's average of 289. Bet Online, your online sportsbook experts. Okay, guys, as we see here talking the Locker Room app, we've got Paul Valadez on the call with us, and he is with Belching Beaver Brewery. Let me tell you about their hard seltzers. They have pineapple and mango. They have passion fruit and guava. They have so many more. Let me tell you about the pineapple and mango here. At the Beeve, we love making beer, but we're packing on the pound, so we came up with a low-carb, no sugar added, easy drinking style made with real fruit. Don't let the color fool you. It's a low-carb beverage, and we all know real fruit ain't clear. That's right, only 110 calories and 10 carbs. There's also raspberry and blackberry. Here at the Beeve, we're making beer, and it is tasting like low carb, no sugar added, easy drinking style with real fruit. That's right. Fruit ain't clear with raspberry and blackberry. Belching Beaver has drinks for all palates and all groups of people alike. So check out belchingbeaver.com if you're in California, and belchingbeaver.bev. Put in your zip code and find out where you can find Belching Beaver. Here to have a damn good time.
Yeah, we just know that. I mean, even though it is a regular season, it is 162 games, it is still somewhat irregular going into this year. So, although, we like to think it's a normal season, there's still some, things that aren't necessarily normal about the season. So I think things like that are going to naturally probably affect just about every team at some point throughout the season. You're gonna see this thing pop up every once in a while, especially like you did with the opening day, where was it the Nationals and the Mets they had to postpone their games because of one or two players or something because of COVID positive tests, and so you're going to see things like that. I'm just hoping that the Astros can get through the season without any of the issues like they had during spring training. I don't know if y'all noticed, but Gary Pettis actually met with the team while they were in California. And he's yet to join the team, I think, because of health reasons. But it'll be really good once he's able to come back out on the field and seeing him, waving those guys home. And I did like that Miles Straw on a hit in one of the games was on second, was able to score. So, Miles Straw, diving catch, getting on the bases. I don't think they were aggressive, as aggressive as I'd like them to be on the bases. That's what I would like to see in this home opener. Guys, I would like to see Miles Straw going on the first or second pitch every time he gets to first base. They need to be aggressive with him. I mean, it's what Max Stassi or no, I'm sorry, this is the A's. Sean Murphy. I guess Sean Murphy's got a
If
pretty
he's
good
healthy.
gun, doesn't he?
Yeah,
If
if he's
okay,
healthy. So Paul
okay,
said this is what Dusty Baker normally does. He starts them kind of, he starts stretching them out as the season starts going. So Zach Greinke got 6 innings the first time, 7 innings. Then he'll do 8 innings. Then he'll do 9. Then he'll do 10 innings. Then 11. I'm kidding, but anyway. So what I like about the Astros so far is their offense. I don't think anybody has expected the offense to be as good as they are. Now, this is not including today's game, but the Astros are leading the majors in home runs with 12. They're like second in terms of RBIs with 41. With total bases, they're second behind the Dodgers with 115. Once again, this is not including yesterday's game. They're pretty up there in a lot of the offensive categories. They're doing pretty good in terms of pitching as well. So this is gonna. I mean, they're in the top 5 in terms of ERA. So this is if they can maintain this, and this is in terms of their starters not going too deep into games. So if they can maintain this, how many wins do we think the Astros can get in 2021? I don't think that they're going to be 150 and what are we on pace for? 150 and what 12? I don't think we're on a pace for 150 and 12 or whatever the math says. But seriously, everybody and anybody who's in the room, if you want to unmute yourself or if you want to jump to the room, how many rooms do you really not how many rooms, but how many wins do you realistically think the Astros can get this year? I'm going to go and get started, and I'm going to go and still stick to my 95 wins.
okay. Well, I'm gonna go up from a 91. You know, I started at like 97. I went down to 91. Eric, I'm gonna be hopelessly optimistic, and I'm gonna say 97 wins.
97.
I'm gonna say 97. So,
Steve?
So what do you?
I'm going with 101.
Oh wow! Whoa!
Go
Steve with the
Stros.
bold prediction. Go Stros. That's right.
All right, Johnny.
What about you?
I'm going with 100 wins or more because, to be honest, brothers, the AL West, it's our division. It's between us and the Angels. We're going to be whooping on the A's. We're going to be whooping on the Rangers. And we're going to be whooping on the Mariners. We're going to get a whole bunch of wins against them. And we're going to have a very, very good record.
All right, so Mr. Valadez, after the Astros win the AL West, we're going to be having a lot of belching beavers. So how many wins do you think that the Astros will have?
I'm honestly on board with the 100 plus because with the AL West being as it is, it's kind of the NL West of, the National League. But the way we have a lot of other teams' numbers, no matter what, we go into New York, we whoop. Boston, it's a different story. When we play the AL East, I go 100 plus.
All right. Unfortunately for the A's, they had another bit of bad news today. The Trevor Rosenthal is going to have surgery. I don't know what type of surgery. It sounds like pretty bad. Is it Tommy John or?
I don't know. I will have to look that up. That's the first time hearing of it.
I heard it was the thoracic outlet syndrome.
Okay.
Ooh, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, that surgery that pitchers have been getting recently.
Okay. I saw a tweet that said that surgery is on the table, and I saw a response to that tweet. Well, normally surgery is on the table. I thought that was pretty great. But unfortunately for George Springer, a former Astro, he has another injury that he's dealing with. So we don't wish any ill will to George Springer. We want to see him out there hitting Springer dingers. But hopefully he gets better pretty soon. And I know the Blue Jays, we want them out there beating up on the Yankees. But unfortunately, he's not healthy right now. So there's a lot of surprises out there so far this season. But I don't think a lot of people expected the A's to be this bad. But fortunately for them, they got to win. So they're not coming in Houston winless. But the schedule makers did not do them any favors for facing the Astros and then the Dodgers, then the Astros. So That was a terrible schedule for them. So quickly, before we kind of end this show, let's talk about game 2. It'll be Sean Manaea versus Lance McCullers. Lance McCullers didn't have his best control. He struggled throughout. He looked a little shaky in the first inning, but he still maintained his composure. He still had 7 strikeouts. Sean Manaea didn't. I don't think he pitched versus. No, he did pitch versus Astros, but he had a 9.64 ERA. He did not look good. So I'm gonna have to go with Astros in that game too. I think. Go ahead.
No, I think that with the Houston Astros and with Lance McCullers going, I believe that he will be comfortable and he'll be in his element in Houston, and so I fully expect him to have a very, very good outing. He does only have a 1.80 ERA. It's not like he gave up a lot of runs. Sean Manaea. He'll be good innings 1 through 3, and then innings 3 through 5, he'll blow whatever lead he has, because that's just what he does. He starts out hot and then he gets shelled. And last game I literally called it. I said, okay, watch this. Innings 3 through 5, he's going to give up a bunch of runs. And that's when the Astros scored like 5 runs. They scored in 2 or 3 innings in a row. And so there are a couple guys that have high batting averages against Lance McCullers, Elvis Andrews, and Ramon Laureano, who's only had 2 ABs against them. Other than that, everybody's hitting under 300 against him. And so the Astros on the other side, I think, should do fine. I mean, look, Castro and Maldonado both are 500 against him. I mean, when your 2 catchers are 500 against the opposing pitcher and his ERA is 9.64, I'm just expecting Yordan to hit me a bomb in section 224 row 1. I mean 254 row 1, so I can get a Yordan Alvarez home run finally in my glove.
Good luck with that. And speaking of good luck, apparently Raymond Gutierrez went on the 10-day IL for the suckiness disease because he was placed on the IL after his appearance versus the Astros. And updates.
You're wrong for that, man. You're wrong for that.
Mike Fiers is still on the 10-day IL. So every time the Astros are going to face the A's, Mike Fiers will probably be on the 10-day IL. And hopefully Michael Brantley will be returning back to the lineup. I don't know if that was confirmed today. I have not seen that. But let's look at Game 3. And there will not be a game on where is it? I thought I had it up. Game 3. Wait. Oh, I think I skipped the game. Wait, where's the other one? Oh, I skipped the game. Oh, well.
I've got Game 3. It's Jose Urquidy versus Frankie Montes.
Okay, that's the one the Astros did not face, but I think the Dodgers pretty much crushed him from what I remember.
Yeah, he has a 23.63 ERA. He lasted 2 2/3 innings, and he gave up 7 runs and 7 hits. So yeah, Frankie Montes is either on or he's off, and Jose Urquidy, I think he does a better job as well in Minute Maid Park. I think you're going to see the pitchers, the relievers, really feel settled down. Now, some of them will be pitching for the first time in Minute Maid in front of fans.
Yeah, so Cristian Javier talked about that. So so I'm excited about this, and I'm excited about the everything. Zach Greinke's excited to see fans at the ballpark, and he said it has really been nice having the fans in the stadium. Actually, I thought I enjoyed it last year without them. So far, it's been pretty nice having them, and going home will be also nice. Will be really nice also. And by the way, I think we mentioned this yesterday, or somebody mentioned. I think it was. I wouldn't say it was you, Johnny, or somebody mentioned this on yesterday's podcast. But I saw a tweet that yesterday on what was this on? I'm losing track of days, but on the 6th, Angel Hernandez was the umpire. And apparently he was responsible for the worst called game of the season so far. He missed 24 calls with the correct call percentage of only 83.2%. And these called strikeouts to Alex Bregman and Machete were 2 of his worst calls. And this was the last game of the Angels versus the Astros. So remember the game that the Astros struck out 15 times 2 of those were blown calls by Angel Hernandez. So yes, Astros fans, we have a reason to dislike Angel Hernandez. And it's not for any of the reasons why Brett said yesterday. It's because he is not a very good umpire. So that's all we got for today's Locked On Astros podcast. Enjoy opening day. And everybody unmute yourself, and let's all scream at the same time. Let's play ball. Okay, are you ready? On your mark, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's play ball. That was totally lame. All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Go Astros.
Go Astros.
Bye, guys.